Hello, everybody. How you doing? It's Damien yet again with another list, and this time, well, not another list, sorry, another rebooking video. And this time we go to WrestleMania 38. Now, how would I book WrestleMania 38 to be the first WrestleMania without Daniel Bryan? Basically, I'm trying to see who else would not be there anymore. I mean, RVD would have been gone, would have been a one-month U.S. title reign. Christian Gage would not be there no more. Cesaro would not be there. A lot of people left for AEW. Big Show wouldn't be there no more, but that's fine. I mean, we'll find another way there to get around this. And yeah, for WrestleMania 38, I would have as the Hall of Famers. The headliner would still be The Undertaker. Who else could it be? But Undertaker will be the only guy to be inducted twice the same year because he will also be inducted along with basically the match. Basically, the match basically will be immortalized will be Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25, and not just any match, not just because any match, because it was the best match of all time at WrestleMania, but also the same match happened and the same city, the same arena, which is Texas, based in the Houston Astrodome. No, sorry, it was Houston Astrodome. Sorry, and this one's was the I'm not sure the name, the Reliance Stadium, I think, but it still happened in Texas, one way or another. So the night will progress also with not just the Undertaker versus Michaels being inducted in Hall of Fame. The Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott will be there. Vader's already been inducted in years prior, so that'd be fine. Shaq Gaspar will be inducted that year. And I would have as a group to be inducted that year will be the Nation of Domination. Farouk is a fellow Texan. He's from Texas. Mark Henry's from Texas. And you have D'Lo Brown, who I feel like nobody's mentioned it, but it's like he should have been nominated. He should be basically in Hall of Fame. He was very good. He was IC Europe champion. You could have Godfather, and there's a way to induct The Rock in a way. And Owen Hart again. And Clarence Mason. Because Clarence Mason never lies. Basically, Clarence is the man, he never tells a lie. Don't forget that. So, night one WrestleMania would begin with a four-way tag match, and both nights would start similarly. You have the Usos defending against Shinsuke Nakamura and Mick Boogs, against Xavier Woods and Big E, against Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne. The Usos keep the tag titles. That's fine. One sins of WrestleMania 38, besides being unterminable, and I know it's the last real Vince McMahon book WB WrestleMania card, is the IC champion and US champion were not even featured in that card. You have to remember that none of them were not even in a match at WrestleMania. Ricochet and Finn Balor, both the IC US champion, respectfully, were not even on card. I will rectify that. And given that we forgot this in the pre-show Under the Giant Battle Royal, Kofi Kingston won the Under the Giant Battle Royal. He chose to go back to the Ice title division, and he goes Ricochet defending against Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler. It was supposed to be Ricochet and Dolph Ziggler. Kofi won the Battle Royal. He's basically integrated into the Ice title match, and Kofi Kingston does a Trouble to Paradise to Ricochet to win his fifth IC title. And he'll be the one 2, 3 months later dropping it to Gunter. At least it will have more effect. I mean, Gunter might have that huge reign, but still, I mean, I also look at who did he beat to win the title. As Ricochet was not even seen as worthy enough to be at WrestleMania, which kind of underwhelms this term. So when people say it's one of the greatest terms of reign of all time, I disagree. When Randy Savage won, he won against Tito Santana, was red hot. Honky Tonk Man won against Ricky Steamboat, who was red hot. Gunter beat a tepid Ricochet. Or Ricochet on a tepid streak. So it's not as important. Already there, I don't care if you have been 7 years world champion or 7 years IC champion, doesn't matter. Then a third match of the night. Because I want to basically, I couldn't ignore Madcap Moss, and I have to put him in match. But I didn't feel like putting him basically, or the other one, I didn't feel like putting him in a match against former potential Baron Corbin. So I basically did a six-man tag with the Mysterio and Madcap Moss versus Miz, Logan Paul, and Baron Corbin. It still leads to a mishap within the Mysterios. Madcap Moss is basically clothesline Baron Corbin out of the ring and out of his boots. Basically, Logan Paul throws Madcap Moss to the outside where Moss and Corbin are fighting out. And basically, a mishap from the Mysterios leads to Dominic Mysterio getting pinned after his skull-crushing finale from The Miz, who also, in The Miz, is the last man standing because he ambushed Logan Paul. Fourth match of the night, like in real life, women's title match. It's Becky Lynch against Bianca Belair. Like in real life, Bianca Belair wins. Seth Rollins to Cody Rhodes. Again, same thing as real life. Seth loses. The penultimate match of the night will be SmackDown Women's title will be Charlotte Flair against. I was seeing which one I could basically do. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. You could have done this, but it's not gonna be the Judgment Day. So I just have Ronda Rousey still win the Rumble, but Charlotte Flair keeps the title. But it leads to Kevin Owens with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like real life, Stone Cold is a retirement match, and he retires by winning the main event of night, WrestleMania 38, Night 1. Night 2 of WrestleMania, you have Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, RK Bro defending tag title against Street Profits, against Alpha Academy, and against War Raiders. RK Bro keeps the tag titles. Second match of the night, which is not like real life. Finn Balor defends his brand new U.S. Championship against Damian Priest. And you can have Finn Balor keep the title. Then you would have Austin Theory. Austin Theory will be in a match. And I would have basically Austin Theory defend against a rehired Jeff Hardy. And Austin Theory would win. And the fourth match of the night, you have Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. John Knoxville could win the same hilarious way as this. Then you would have for the women's tag title match, you had the same match in real life, Carmella and Zelina Vega defending against Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Natalya and Shayna versus Rhea and Liv. A mishap leads Rhea and Liv out to the outside, leave them on the outside, and leads to Sasha and Naomi. Actually, Sasha Banks finally winning basically women's tag title at WrestleMania. Then in the sixth match of the night, you had AJ Styles versus Edge. And I don't see why AJ won 3 times in a row against Styles. And I would have Styles win the match, but not really have Styles Clash or 450. I would have Styles basically counter a pinfall, basically like you would counter the Execution DDT into a roll up 1, 2, 3. Yes. Afterwards, both of them shake hands. Damian Priest basically goes to ringside area. AJ Styles and Edge seem like they're going to double team on Damian Priest, but in the end, Edge low blows at AJ Styles, semi-heel turn, and both Damian and Priest and Edge leave together. The next month at Backlash 2022, then you can have Edge win. Then the penultimate match of night 2 will be Sonya Deville was playing basically an authority figure who was abusing her power. I would have to discontinue and basically abuse her power, not only to book herself a match for WrestleMania, but basically says that, she's irreplaceable, and basically, I don't want this person to be reintroduced to SmackDown. Who it is? It's Asuka. And Asuka, in one thing that I don't have enough in WrestleMania, you have a squash match, in which case Asuka squashed Sonya Deville, and Asuka wins under 2 minutes. In the main event, for both the WWE title and Universal title, you have Brock Lesnar, who did unfortunately win the 2022 Royal Rumble. But he's since the Royal Rumble winner, but he didn't win the title. He didn't win the WWE title at the Elimination Chamber. That would be Drew McIntyre, who is invoking himself in the match, and there's Roman Reigns. And you still have, basically, it's a 3-way match. In this case, it's like similar to Brock versus Roman versus Seth. In this case, you have Drew McIntyre hit basically, it would lead to Brock McIntyre hitting the Claymore and Roman Reigns. Everybody thinks he's going to win the Universal title, but it leaves the Usos basically drag out Drew McIntyre. And you could have Solo Sikoa make his debut there, take out Drew McIntyre. And you have Roman Reigns kick out the basically, I don't know, he kicks out of a F5. He's about to tap to a Kimura, but the Paul Heyman pulls his front of the ropes. The referee doesn't look. Roman Reigns actually taps, and Brock thinks he won, but it leads to basically Lesnar receiving low blow while steel chair assisted low blow. It leads to 2 spears, and Roman Reigns wins and unifies both the WWE and Universal title. And that's how I would have ended WrestleMania 38 Night 2. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. See you guys later. Peace.